Hello, my amazing artists. This week, second grade and multi-age friends, we are going to be finishing up our robots. So I hope you have perfected those robotic dance moves, I know you have, and are ready to add some details to make your robot really come to life. Not literally though, my friends, but still, it's nice to add details to help complete a picture and make it feel almost realistic. Today, I'm going to be talking about all the details that you have to have, as well as many options for details that you could add to make your robot really stand out. A well-bot. So, without any further ado, artists, let's go take a look at what art materials we're going to be using today to help make our robots awesome. Again, your goal today is to make your robot feel complete by adding as many details as you can. Now, if you do still have some of that extra paper from last week as well, you can use those to make additional features. For instance, I used some of my white paper to make the eyes and mouth on my robot. But another idea could be adding some sort of control screen onto the body of your robot, because the first thing you do have to do with your details, friends, is decide how you control your robot. Now, some friends might add maybe a remote that they could control them with, or you can think about adding buttons and a display and other details on your robot's body that you could use to help control it. So, for instance, right now I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of a display as well by just drawing and cutting out a small square. Now, while you're also thinking about these buttons, you want to think about what your robot can do. For instance, my catbot could do things like run around really fast and be silly. It also had some claws, so it could do some scratching if it wanted as well. But this robot, I'm not sure what type of robot this one is yet, so I'll have to figure that out. Because another detail we are going to add today, friends, is a name for our robot. And that name should kind of help tell what your robot does. So I've added a little bit of a display. Maybe I might use some markers to add some buttons on that display as well. Maybe I'll even go ahead and draw a smaller screen next to my buttons. So maybe that is how my robot is controlled. Maybe then I might move up to my robot's face. You do need to add at least 3 or more details onto your robot's face. So I might go ahead and add another mouth, maybe some eyes as well. Some other details that I could add would be antennas or ears if I haven't added those already. Again, you can think about some of those basic shapes that we used last week as you're adding these details onto your robot as well. Or maybe your robot's face has a display, kind of like the robot Wall-E. That could be a different way of making a face. Now, some robots aren't always named for what they do. For instance, some of the robots from Star Wars had kind of letter and number names, such as R2-D2, C-3PO, even BB-8. So that is an alternative option. If, for example, you can't think about what your robot could be or what it could do, you could also come up with a letter number kind of name. For instance, maybe my robot could be X204. Again, don't use those other names from other robots unless you made that robot. For instance, if you did make R2-D2, then of course you could name your robot R2-D2. I think I will add some antennas as my third detail. And there's my robot's head. Now I might want to start thinking about the other parts of its body and what those parts can do. For instance, on my cat robot, I drew lines to show that the arms and legs could kind of extend and grow to be really long or really short. So I might add those same lines onto my robot's arms, because right now my robot's arms look a little short. So I might want to make them look like they could come out farther. Maybe I'll even add some details onto the shoulders. And I have some knees on my robot. I want to think about how those knees could move. You notice on my elbows and my knees here, I added some bolts, so that way arms and legs could turn at least. Another way to do it, I could either do an X for another type of bolt, or I could even add a circle to show that that joint right there might rotate or turn. So there's another little detail I could add. When I get down to my robot's feet or shoes or maybe wheel in some of your cases, I also want to think about what type of terrain my robot might be walking on. For instance, maybe it might walk on some really bumpy rocks or roads, and so I might want to give it just a little bit of tread on the bottom by adding a little bit of a wiggly line, just to help the robot keep its balance better. I could add other details as well. For example, I could design maybe robot shoes. Maybe these robot shoes look like they have shoelaces, just because I think that would make it look more personable. Maybe I might even think about adding something to the claws, but I don't have to. But again, I need to come back to the idea of thinking about a name for my robot. So I'm not sure what my robot can do. I think I will make some sort of letter number name. And I like that example that I made earlier. I said X204. So I'll go ahead and write that on my robot. Or if you don't want to write it on your robot, my friends, you could add it somewhere next to your robot as a little name tag maybe. You get to decide where you put your name, but you have to add a name for your robot, please. Now, as always, you can use other colors as well when you're doing your robot. For instance, maybe I'll add some different lines inside of my display in different colors. And that's why I told you not only to have black, but to have different colors as well, friends, in case you want to use those different colors today to really make your details more interesting. And maybe these different colors line up with the different parts of my robot, like red is for the head, what I want it to think about. Green could be for the arms and the feet, and then maybe I'll even do some blue for the arms and the legs in case I need to stretch them, have them reach to high places or run really fast. So here is my robot with all the details that I want to add. Again, really think about all the things that your robot could do, what you want it to do, who you want it to be, how to control it. And that will help you really make your robot come to life. All right, artists, I hope I've given you enough ideas to help really complete your robot. As always, I want you to make it your own art. It should be unique and different, just like you. So when you are finished and you are happy with how your robot looks, the last thing, of course, you need to do whenever you finish an art project is go back to Seesaw or go to Artsonia and please take a picture of your finished artwork. Now again, I hope you've been practicing those dance moves, because when you are done, do a little robot dance party as well, my friends, just to celebrate. All right, artists, I hope you had a fun time designing and making some shape robots with me. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye, and as always, have fun creating, my friends.